But I'd like to move on now to speak with Gaynor Hammond. Where are you going? Oh, there. Gaynor, can you come off mute?
Hiya.
Hiya, Gaynor. So I'm really pleased to have Gaynor here. I've known Gaynor for quite some time. Gaynor, as you've put on the chat, you live in Guiseley and you're a retired Baptist minister, and you were involved with our first event in this series. So some of you may have seen her there. So yeah, I'll go straight in here, and perhaps you could just say a little bit about yourself and your background and how old you are.
Okay, well, I'm 75, Baptist minister, retired now, and I retired finally, several retirements over the years, in 2019. Winter 2019, when I was diagnosed with a heart condition, quite a serious heart condition. I could no longer carry on. I live alone, but very happy and content. I've got lots of friends and family, and yeah, there was a spate of losses, as we get in later life, and some just were not expected.
Yeah, so maybe you could just tell us a little bit about these losses. Well, a bit more about your diagnosis with the heart disease and all of the other losses that you've experienced in recent years.
Okay, you know, I was going merrily along. I was called back into ministry. I had retired from South Parade Baptist Church, and I was a tutor at Northern Baptist College, and I'd retired, and I was worked for Faith in Elderly People, but still involved with them. But I'd been called back in ministry when I was 70, so I felt a bit like Moses. It was wonderful, still fitting well, and called to ministry at Hebden Bridge, at Hope Baptist Church at Hebden Bridge, and I absolutely loved it. And the plan was I would do a year, and then they asked me to stay another 3 years, and I managed to stay probably less than 2 of those. I was there nearly 3 years altogether. In winter, well, not winter, in 2019, I had started to feel not very well, and it put it down to asthma. I had a minor op, nothing to do with my heart, with my throat. And the anaesthetist diagnosed that I had a quite serious heart condition, and she'd referred me to a cardiologist, which came as a shock. And to cut a long story short, it's to do with the heart muscle. The heart muscle is thickening the left ventricle. It's a degenerative disease. It's inherited. You've got a gene. Nothing can be done, and nothing can be done to make it any better other than it's controlled with tablets. I didn't realise it was like came as a bolt out of the blue, and the biggest losses there was, like Maureen, always busy, loved what I did, loved being a minister, loved ministering to people. Just it all came to quite an abrupt end, because I knew that I couldn't carry on. I couldn't do another winter going over the moors to Hebden Bridge and back, and just the sheer volume of work and everything, and it started to be controlled with medication. But that loss was awful. And it's not just a loss of ministry at that church, it probably, most likely, is I will never minister again. I will never be a minister again. And I loved it so much. On top of that came another, you don't realise, but my son and daughter-in-law quite rightly said, I used to pick my grandchildren up from school, and I used to take them out for tea or take them to a park or do things with them. We don't want you on your own with them anymore, taking them in the car and doing things in case anything happens. So suddenly, abruptly, I've never been able to pick my grandchildren up from school, take them out, do things that grandparents do. That's denied me now. I can see them at their house, or they'll come and see me, but never on my own. And it's anybody who's got grandchildren, when you're on your own with them, you can do daft stuff that you can't do when the parents are there. So that's gone, that's lost, and they've grown up, and that time has gone. So that was a big loss. They were the first two. There were 2 deaths in 2020.
Yeah, so maybe if just moving along, do you think you could say a bit about how you started to adjust to having such a different lifestyle, really, and what kind of strategies you found helpful?
I found it difficult at first, wondering why God, it was a very big why God. Why would God call me to a church and make me love it so much, and the people, and then almost cruelly take it off me? And for quite a long time, that's how I felt. I came to terms with it. I never stopped loving God or stopped trusting, or I struggled. And of course then 2020 came, didn't it? And I found it struggled to settle in a church, because Hebden Bridge, Hope was my church. I have done now a lovely church at Idle with lovely people. I've made such smashing friends, which I feel God's take me there. I'm another person in a pew now. I'm not the minister, but I do quite a lot of ministerial bits. I think one of the things that again saved me, if you like, was again serving. Macmillan had been running something called Firm Roots for people who have got cancer, struggling with cancer, and they were looking for churches who would, with somebody who would support them, people with cancer and their relatives, who would help support them, but in a spiritual way, with the religious way. They've got lots of support, but the faith part gone. So once a month there's a service. We do a little service, very simple, easy, quite a lot of fellowship and talking, but with a service with prayers and a little talk and music, and so people kind of concentrate on a particular theme, like hope or faith, or and I do that once a month. And that's from that I kind of put a call out to all the churches in Airborough for volunteers to help. And the one volunteer that came forward was Penny Lyons, somebody who we nursed together when we were young, because I used to be, my background's nursing, and when we were young we nursed together at Wharfdale Hospital, and we've reconnected, and that's been a real blessing. So within the losses, God has blessed me. In ways I could never have imagined. My ministry, if you like, for so many years has been with people with dementia. And yet here I was suddenly asked out of the blue, would you do this for us? We can't do it. Would you do it? And so I did the kind of, went along to sessions to see what would be like, training, if you like. Then 2020 came, could no longer go to Huddersfield to the session, but they did it on Zoom, so I could still do it for my own home.
That's brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Gaynor. So thinking about how serving opportunities has helped you as well. So a bit like Carol was saying about taking up new opportunities. Yes. Yeah, I think we're going to have to wrap up there, but is there any one last thing that you wanted to say about it?
I think, gosh, I think it's okay to, you know, looking at the Kubler-Ross that you were talking about, Carol, and I've seen all that, but I think it's okay sometimes. I think God can take our lamenting and our frustrations and but why, God, and you know, to question and to rage a bit, and I don't think that's unhealthy. And then it's the knowledge that still stick in there, whatever, that he does have a plan. Yeah. It's not the same, it's different, but it's good.
Thank you so much, Gaynor. Thank you.